Yes. Round two. We're trying again. We did try and speak about transfers yesterday afternoon. However, everything went wrong. So we're re-upping it. Obviously, with the reports of Rice, Kovacic, Bellingham, there's also more transfer news that has been popping off over the past week or so. So we thought this is a decent one to throw in there.
Yeah, it's looking like City are aiming for some sort of midfield rebuild coming up for this summer, with obviously Gundogan possibly leaving at this moment in time. He is leaving. Bernardo Silva highly expected to leave, leaving us with only Kevin De Bruyne and Maximo Perrone. Two decent players, of course, but you know, two players that one's 31, going on 32, and hasn't been in the better form recently, and the other one is very young and still remains largely a prospect at the moment. I was thinking basically on this stream, we could go through each player, get a little bit of a timeline update for the last week or so. We did try doing this yesterday, but then obviously it got cut off. To see exactly where we're up to right now, see where we are at with these sort of transfer rumours, and see which ones are looking more likely and more believable. Of course, we've got three in the title. However, you've also got Mason Mount, who's heavily been linked with a move to Manchester City, as well as Liverpool and Man United as well. So there's actually four players that we're heavily linked with. But I guess these are the three players that maybe out of the four people would rather have. Yeah, I feel like Mason Mount's probably at the bottom of the list, you know.
Yeah, he's bottom of the list for me anyway.
There's not really much point in doing a poll, to be honest, Tony, because everyone's just about Bellingham, innit? You know what I mean? So
Bellingham's the main Donny. He is the main Donny in these situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. Let's get into it then. Before we do, make sure you guys drop a like on the stream. Let's get those likes past 100 likes. We need 40 people to hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. So on February the 8th, so just nearly a month ago now, the Times in the UK reported that Manchester City are looking to strengthen in midfield and left back this summer, with Jude Bellingham and Ben Chilwell among their top targets. However, Manchester City are also interested in Declan Rice and Rafael Leao. So confirmation from them that City do want Bellingham and Rice is interested. And that's the first time we've heard about Rice in many, many months being linked with Manchester City. Then Fabrizio Romano came out on the February the 13th and said that Man City still haven't made a decision on whether or not they want Calvin Phillips at Manchester City next season. However, West Ham, understanding that they are going to lose Declan Rice probably this summer, have said that they are working on a move to get Calvin Phillips at West Ham. However, that does not depend on whether or not Declan Rice goes to Manchester City. So basically, they could sell Declan Rice to Arsenal and then still come for Calvin Phillips. So they're kind of exploring that. And again, that came from Fabrizio Romano. So we've had nothing for months. The last time we had anything about Declan Rice being linked with Manchester City, you have to go back to the beginning of 2022, May 2022, when Paul Ballas said that Manchester City wanted Declan Rice but couldn't get him in the summer because of his price tag. Hence, we ended up getting Calvin Phillips. We had nothing for around 7 months, and then all of a sudden, within 5 days, two separate sources came out and said Manchester City are interested in are interested in Declan Rice. And then last week, this is where it really started popping off. Pete O'Rourke from Footy Insider 24/7 said Manchester City are planning to push Arsenal all the way in the race to sign Declan Rice this summer, with sources close to the deal saying that West Ham are looking for around £80 million for the player. And then a week after that, that's basically yesterday, Graham Bailey came out and said Manchester City are seriously considering Declan Rice as part of a midfield overhaul this summer. Their interest in Jude Bellingham would not mean one or the other. They want to sign both players. So you got to look at this and go, we've heard nothing for 7 months. And then all of a sudden, within the space of around 2 weeks or a month, we've had about 4 different sources all say that Manchester City are interested in Declan Rice and that West Ham are looking at Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, it's a transfer that does make sense. If they're now accepting of Rice leaving and Rice making it clear to West Ham that he does want to go, It's a transfer that does make sense in the sense that Calvin Phillips is a good footballer. He's just not really had time to show it at Manchester City, and he'd undoubtedly do well at West Ham. I have no doubts about that. I think he did really well at West Ham. So I think it makes sense from their point of view. He's barely played any football for us. He's still finding it difficult to get into this side, and if we could have some form of swap deal, it's a deal that could work in favour of both parties, not just because if Arsenal go for him, they're just going to sign. They'll just sign him. Do you know what I mean? Then, like you say, West Ham would probably then still go for Phillips from us anyway. But if we can work out a swap deal, then it's something that basically it could ease it and make it a bit more doable. But it's still a weird one, isn't it? Like,
well, the thing is, you're right to say that, because if you think about it. If West Ham and Man City do a swap deal, right? City get Rice, West Ham get Phillips, and City give West Ham, say, 40 million, right? I guess it'll be around 40, 50 million, something like that. West Ham then have 50 million, but they've already got the player. If West Ham sell Rice to West Ham, they'll get 18, 90 million, whatever the fee is. But then they won't have a player, and they'll have £90 million, which every other club in the world knows they've got because they've just sold Rice. So then the fees go up. So then, yes, okay, you've done really well at getting in a higher fee, but
you're gonna spend
clubs
more.
then that you go to, clubs will spend more. So I actually think, personally, I'm not just saying this, I actually think it's probably in the best interest for West Ham to do a swap deal rather than an outright sale. If obviously they do want to make that deal happen this summer. And for Manchester City again. Obviously, not really the same, because if we sold Phillips for 40, 50 million, we'd still be in the market for a 40, 50 million pound DM. So it wouldn't really affect us as much, I don't think, as it was as West Ham. And we're looking for a backup, so we're not as pushed. We need a backup. Don't get me wrong, but we also have a buyback on Lavia at 40 million. So we have options, is what I'm saying. West Ham would get the money in, and then they'd be pushed, because then they'd have to go and get a replacement, because you have to replace Rice. It's a gamble, because they'd probably have to go out of the Premier League to get someone, because who are you going to get from inside the Premier League to make that step up and not be such a drop off to Rice? I
mean, they'd still just go for Calvin Phillips, though, wouldn't they? Like, even if they didn't come to us directly with a swap deal, they'd just come to Calvin Phillips anyway.
Maybe, but then for City, it's then harder for City to do a deal, because then City have to go, okay, well, we need to then buy a DM. And then City have to go through that process. And then City will be more reluctant to sell Calvin Phillips, because then they have to go and do a deal with someone else. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then but in hypothetical scenarios, like, we could get Lavia 40 million. So
if they want Lavia.
Yeah.
If they want Lavia. But say they don't want Lavia. If they want Lavia, then it's fine. If they don't want Lavia, then City are in the position where, okay, we've got to let Calvin Phillips go. Now we have to go and do a deal and get someone in who can compete with compete with Rodri. So probably a slightly easier deal. Or if City want Lavia, that don't really make a difference, to be honest with you. But if they don't want Lavia, then it is a little bit more stress on the shoulders of the people at City doing the transfers, and it's probably just in the best interest to get Rice. But that would obviously come with some sort of formation change, you would imagine. But yeah, that's where we're at with Rice. You know, it's interesting to see the developments on this one, because it's kind of come out of nowhere.
Do you think it's a heavy deal for someone who'd be back up to Rodri?
That's why I don't think it would be a backup. I think it would be a formation change, and I think we are going to see a formation change next season.
Then, if we was to do a formation change with double pivot, and then Bellingham comes in the side as well, how are we going to fit everyone in?
Well, that's
because how do you have Rice, Rodri, Bellingham, KDB in one side?
Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult.
Unless Rice comes in and does more of a Gundo role.
Yeah, which I think he can do.
A box to box kind of thing. Yeah.
Well,
we've seen him carry the ball forward before, so
yeah. But yeah, that's where we're at with Declan Rice then. So we'll have to keep our eye on that one, because news keeps on coming, and obviously we got some news yesterday. We'll have to see if we get any news in the coming week or so. Let's move it on to Kovacic. Kovacic, of course, at Chelsea. Now, this was completely out of the blue. We've already heard that Manchester City are interested in Mason Mount as a potential backup player for Manchester City. However, A few days ago, Matt Law from the Telegraph in the UK, as well as James Ducker, it was a co sort of written article, said that Manchester City are interested in Chelsea midfielder Matteo Kovacic, with Pep Guardiola a big admirer of the player. The Croatia international's contract runs until 2024.
I love
come out
this
the blue,
deal,
that.
mate. I love the idea of this deal. I just think that's something that I can see happening. I can see the Kovacic deal more than the Rice deal. I can see that happening because Kovacic can be in and out of the team, and I don't think he'd be unhappy with that. But I also think he provides solid cover there. I think that's an incredible deal, that, because then you've got Rice and Kovacic rotating, and not Rice, sorry, Rodri and Kovacic rotating, and then then if we were to sign Bellingham as well, then he takes that Gundo role. I think this Kovacic deal would be big.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a deal that suits City. I don't think you'd have to spend too much on it. I think you could get him in for maybe 50 mil. He suits City's style of play. He's very comfortable on the ball, and obviously Croatian as well, which helps for the Champions League. And I like the deal as well. I think this is a smart deal, and I think this is a player that you can get in who you don't have to play every game. You can rotate him. And remember, rotation players at City are different to rotation players at different clubs because we go for every competition, and it's very rare that we get knocked out of a competition. So like the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, we're getting usually to like the quarter-final stages of both competitions most times each season. We get into late stages of the Champions League. We go deep in the title races. So even rotation players at City, you're still going to play like 30 games. You know what I mean? So I think that's a great deal. And this is what I'm saying. This is a player that you can get in, and hopefully you're able to integrate him quickly. He's played in the Premier League. He's aggressive. He seems to suit the style of play that we would be looking for him. I think this is, if we can get him in, I think it'd be a brilliant deal.
I think it'd be a brilliant deal. I think you probably get him for like £40 million. I think Jovic Kovacic 40 mil. Then you can sell Phillips to West Ham. Like it's been rumoured anyway. Then Rice goes to Arsenal. That's the way I'd see that going. But honestly, I think it's a great deal, sir. An absolutely incredible deal. And he'd be more willing to rotate. It wouldn't be a style change where you've got to fit both of them in because both need to be starters. Like Rodri and Rice, I feel like both of them need to be starting. However, with Kovacic, you'd be more willing of this rotating role. Honestly, I really like it. I think it offers good strength there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this is a deal that we should look for. If we can get this deal done, I think it'd be a mint deal, and it's not going to cost a lot of money relative to what transfers are going through for today's highly experienced, class player, silky player, and I just think he gives us what we need. Yeah, he's 28, great age. You know what I mean? Like it's great age, going into his peak, experienced, and of course, if you think about it as well, if you're losing Gundogan, you're losing Bernardo Silva. You're going to be buying Bellingham, who is still young. You know what I mean? You still got Foden in the team. You got Haaland, who's young. You got Alvarez, who's young. You got Rico Lewis, who's playing a lot of football, young. You need a bit of experience in there, and I think Kovacic is just a perfect signing. And I'd say to City, I'd give it the thumbs up, me, 100%.
Yeah, Kovacic would be sick. Be sick.
Yeah, big up. Big up Makesh with a super chat. Says Rice cannot play one pivot. Cover is better. Leal, no more.
There are rumours. Well, not rumours. Rafael has kind of come out and said that he doesn't like England weather. Says he prefers it over in Milan. Says basically why would he move? He's basically doubled down on the fact that he likes it there. So it's not looking good on the Leal front anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. You know,
I'm sure I've seen that today.
Nah, I don't know if it's true. I've seen, apparently it's not true.
Is it not?
Nah, yeah, because someone replied to City Extra and posted the article where he says he don't want to come to the Premier League, and then Freddie responded and put we would if he said that, but he didn't. So I don't know. I don't know.
What a Freddie. What a Freddie firing back.
Yeah, I know. So there we go. Bellingham, Jude Bellingham, bro. What's going on here, man? Grizz Khan, by the way, massively confident that he's going to Liverpool.
Is he still that confident?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, is he?
He thinks we're getting Declan Rice because we're not getting Jude Bellingham.
Oh, I mean that could be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That legit could be a thing. But yeah, Jude Bellingham's a good one. I like. Obviously, we all know we all want Jude Bellingham. I think most clubs would want Jude Bellingham. I think it'll be. it's gonna be a heavy one this summer to try and get a signature. I think Liverpool obviously will be in there. They've. I don't know. The tide keeps turning with this deal. Like sometimes I'm like super confident that City will get it, and sometimes I'm like, oh, it's looking more likely to be Liverpool, and there's like Madrid, and it's like, oh, so it's a weird one. It's still very up in the air, and it's kind of right. Grizzy's kind of right there, bro, with the with the Rice thing. Why is the Rice rumors just all popping off all of a sudden? Have we like taken a backseat in that Bellingham deal, and so we're going for Rice? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, Madison. Yeah, Madison.
Madison. Yeah. Something stinks, bro. Something stinky in the air.
I know. It's just
it's
one of them. It's one of them.
I can smell in the air, bro. I can smell money. HSK with a $200 donation.
Oh, it happened again. Whenever I've not got the super chat screen up, some big Donny comes in with a big super chat, bro. I was looking at the Bellingham shit, and I'm like, when you went that, I was like, what? Well, I know Jude Bellingham's going to cost a lot of money. Why are you telling me that for?
Yes, HSK. Yo. He says, I just want to say hi to everyone. Yes. Hey, HSK, mate. I swear, the streams just like revolve around people speaking about Obeyed, HSK, like things like that. It's mad, man. It's mad. Yes, HSK. Massively appreciated as always. That is mad.
Yes, HSK. Thank you very much for
the. Look at the flames in the chat as well, man.
I know, it's good to see. Thank you very much for the donation, helping support the channel. Appreciate you, man. Big up HSK for the 200. And he didn't even use all the characters, man.
Nah. I mean, to be fair, $200. He must have bare characters on $200. A red super chat, bro.
He should go on ChatGPT and give me an interesting stat about Manchester City, and then just put that in the super chat.
Yeah, you know? put in a certain amount of words, like max out the quota.
Oh my days! Big up HSK, thank you, bro. Let me get the updates then on Jude Bellingham. Then see where we're at with this. See what's the latest going round on the rumor mill. Jude Bellingham. Let me go back to the beginning of February. Yeah, beginning. In fact, let me go. I'll start beginning of February, end of January. Jack gone, right? Manchester City hold an interest in Jude Bellingham, but they have also identified James Maddison, with Pep Guardiola wanting more goals from those behind Erling Haaland. That was on January the 31st. February the 5th, Ducker, again from the Telegraph, said Manchester City are determined to sign Jude Bellingham as they eye a long-term replacement for Kevin De Bruyne and have a huge transfer kitty. But the Premier League charges have thrown a potential spanner in the works ahead of a very busy summer for the club. That was on February the 7th. February the 8th, the Times in the UK have said Manchester City are looking to strengthen in midfield at left-back this summer with Jude Bellingham, as we mentioned that one before. Then, February the 25th, David Ornstein said this: Manchester City are not believed to be the favourites for Jude Bellingham, but are interested in him. Some in the industry feel Bellingham currently prefers Liverpool, as he would be a better fit stylistically for Jurgen Klopp's team. That gave him David Ornstein a pretty decent source. That was on February the 23rd, David Ornstein. Then, again, February 28th, as with the Rice, Manchester City's top target is Jude Bellingham. That's Matt Law. Fabrizio Romano yesterday said Manchester City are busy working on a Jude Bellingham deal. And then again, Graham Bailey, again, like the Rice deal, said City are considering Rice as part of a midfield overhaul. They're still interested in Jude Bellingham, but that would not mean one or the other. They could sign both.
I think it stinks of City have been informed of the basically swinging Liverpool's favour at this moment in time. So prepare for someone else. So City keeping their options open, hence why we're seeing, it could be both, but that's because City keeping the options open. City going, Yeah, well, we're still going to try our best to sign Bellingham. However, we know that it's not looking as confident as it has done in the past. So we're going to basically look at alternate options as well. It's like a Rice, like a Kovacic, like a Mason Mount, stuff like that. So that's why we're getting all these other midfield links.
I've got to say, man.
But I'm like the least confident I've ever been in this Jude Bellingham race.
Honestly, going through transfer timelines like we do on the channel, right? We've obviously done this for multiple players over the last couple of years. Haaland, everyone else who we've signed. We always usually go through these timelines, and usually it ends well. We've signed the player. Timelines are mint because you really, really get to understand where the transfer is at because you're getting all the different sources. And this is why I love doing timelines. Absolutely love it. And you look at that, the Messi timelines, the Haaland timelines, the Ronaldo timelines, the mint. You really get an understanding of whether this deal is going to happen. I'm getting a little bit of a bad vibe on the Bellingham deal.
Same. Every time we do this, bro, it's always very positive until City inevitably shit the bed. Hence Kane, Messi, Ronaldo, all that. However, with this one, it kind of it doesn't. Something ain't right.
Yeah,
something just doesn't seem right about this one. And like you say, Ornstein coming out with the whole Klopp thing as well. It's a weird one, this one. I like to say, this is the least confident I've been in the Bellingham saga, especially with all the other rumours about all the other midfielders.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Russ Beard there makes a good point. He says, surely Haaland must have some influence, though. And they will do. They are mates. But, I mean,
yeah, but I just think...
it doesn't... Just because you're mates doesn't mean, like that you have to play in the same team. Yeah.
He goes to Liverpool.
They'll still see each other.
Yeah.
I mean, if he goes to Liverpool, they'll still see each other all the time.
Yeah. I think for Bellingham to go to Liverpool, I think Liverpool are going to have to tell him that they're going to get the checkbook out for other players. Because I just don't see Bellingham going to Liverpool if he goes to Liverpool and says, right, I'll come to Liverpool. Who else are you signing this summer? And they go, no one really. I just don't see him going there in that scenario.
And what about if they don't have Champions League football? They are looking pretty good at the moment. Like they're looking pretty good. They've had a resurgence, haven't they?
Yeah, they have had a resurgence. But I just look at it and go, are you going to go there if they don't sign any players other than you? Are you enough? Don't know.
It's such a weird one, isn't it? It's such a weird one. But if he's got his heart set on a destination and that's the destination, that's just what it is, isn't it? But then there's the flip side of it of will Liverpool spend that money to get him? Dortmund apparently want 150 mil.
Well, let's be honest, right? We could all throw out numbers. Let's be honest. The actual absolute minimum you are going to get Bellingham for is 110 minimum.
Yeah, minimum. And that 110, you're looking at a steal, really. Like in terms of,
I think that's the minimum. I'm just saying that because he's got 2 years left of his deal, right? I just look at it and go, probably more towards the 130, and Liverpool got the funds to be able to do that, and then go and strengthen the other squad. I agree with Benno. I think Liverpool need to be spending, honestly, 200 to maybe 400 million pound on that squad. Squad's dead, bro.
Yeah, I think they need a midfield overhaul without a doubt. But
They need. I think they need to look at the Trent. A serious decision's got to be made on Trent Alexander-Arnold. Van Dijk's not the same defender, and I think he's in his 30s now as well. So you got to look at replacement for him. Matip's been extremely poor. Gomez is poor. Nat Phillips isn't good enough. Robertson's probably the only one in that back line who's still had a poor season. Who's probably solid in that role. Fabinho's poor. He's been off it. You know, and then you look at your forward three. Your attackers are decent. You're chilling there, but your midfielder, you need a DM, and you probably need an extra midfielder as well.
I'm
just saying. I'm saying that in order to be able to be like compete on all 4 fronts, which is where Liverpool want to be. They've let the squad rot, unfortunately for them. You know what I mean? They've spent money on Darwin Núñez, Gakpo. They've abandoned their midfield. You know, neglected their midfield. That's now in serious need of surgery. And the back line isn't strong enough, or the depth isn't there either. So Yeah, I mean that's what I'm kind of holding on to, and see, and the alternative then is okay, City. What can you offer me? Okay, we'll start every week. You'll be in the best team in the world, the best manager in the world, in my view, and we'll win trophies. We'll win trophies, and you're playing with Erling Haaland. You know what I mean? You get the assists and that. You'll be with Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri. This team is ready to go. Just sign a contract, innit?
Tash says Jude walks into Liverpool as the star, though. He comes to City's second fiddle to KDB and Haaland.
So do you know what I do with that? I say Neymar. Neymar went, I want to go be the star. Look how that's turned out.
Yeah, because Neymar was surrounded with like all over Donnies, isn't it? Like,
but it wasn't necessarily when he first went in there. He was the star man, and now it's just it's not worked out. But you got to decide the path when you're a footballer like that. What do you want to do? You want to go be the star man? You want to be the star man? Okay, when you go to be the star man, you got to go to a club that doesn't have as many stars, and that means they're not going to be as competitive. If you go to City, okay, you might not be the star man. I mean, we'll be a star. He might not be the star man. He might not be the man that's on every single poster around Manchester and all that kind of shit. But you'll be in a team that's ready to go, ready to fire. I just think sometimes, that ain't always the best thing. Star man. You want to be a star man. You want to win trophies, man. Harry Kane's a star man. He's a star at fucking Tottenham. It's true though, isn't it? Harry Kane's a star at Tottenham. If he came to Manchester City, he would be a star like Jude Bellingham would be. We wouldn't be the star man, but he'd be winning trophies. What do you want? But clearly, he just wants to be the star man, isn't it?
I think he's got a big decision to make, and at this moment in time, I do think it's favouring Liverpool. Yeah,
and of course, his father and I believe his family are all Liverpool fans, so they'll be pushing him to Liverpool as well. That's not going to be easy to say. Soz dad, I'm going to City, not Liverpool. Apparently, they've offered his dad a job in the academy as well, so they're doing everything that they can, Liverpool, to get him in, and I understand why, because he's a gem, he's an English gem here, and he's going to be one of the best English players for the next decade or more. So I can see why they're doing everything they can. But City have to compete with it. City have to go in. City have to give him our best offer because he's a big, big player.
Oliver Sampson with 3 months says, we already have a star man, Scott Carson. So Jude can't be that guy at City, but he can be a star, though. That's it. Everyone's second fiddle to Scott. Scott is the star man. The one, true one.
Yeah, no, exactly. So that's where we're at anyway with the transfers. I did say it's going to pop off at this point in the year, and it certainly has started popping off as well. We'll have to see what happens now with this.
It's a shame it's not popping off in one direction, like in a direction that we can kind of say, oh yeah, look at this. This is what's going to happen.
That's because
it's scattergun at the moment.
That's because maybe Grizz is right. Maybe,
that's what leads me to believe that.
Yeah, maybe City are like, we want Bellingham, but we don't know if we're going to get him. Therefore, we have to go for these other players as well. We have to go for the Rices. We have to go for the Maddisons because we might end up with no Bellingham and then we have to go for someone else. But in the meantime, City are just putting it out there saying, oh, no, we're going for all of them. To sort of like calm it down and not admit defeat in the Bellingham deal. Maybe City are like, oh, no, we're going for all three.
Yeah, this is exactly what I said before. That's the exact thing that I said before. Because that's what makes most sense for City because they're covering all ground. Yeah. Dopa the 5 says, who do you rate higher? Jude Bellingham, Valverde from Madrid, or Musiala from Bayern? All three very, very good players. Valverde is very, very good. Musiala looks incredible. Jude looks mint as well.
I think Valverde would be a perfect player for City.
He'd be mint. We'd never get him out of Madrid, but he's mint.
In terms of who do I want, Jude, Valverde, Musiala. That's my list.
Yeah. I think because Valverde can play in the mid and the wing, I think he'd be mint at City.
Yeah, I think he'd be brilliant. And I think Pep would love him due to that versatility.
Musiala would be incredible, though. Musiala would be incredible, bro. He'd be unreal. But you'd never get... In terms of realism, it'd be Jude, Valverde, Musiala. Because you ain't getting Musiala out of Bayern. Bro, man's locked in at Bayern.
Big up Roberto as well for the year. Yes, bro. Says, in my opinion, I think Rico would be a great backup to Rodri. Good defensive awareness, good on the ball. Thoughts? Agree. Other than physicality, agree.
Yeah,
But he's only young, so he can get that in
that's
time.
the only thing though, like the physicality side of it of Rico. But I'd like him to not take that role of a backup to Rodri. Do you know what I mean? If Rico's playing, I want Rodri to be playing as well. I don't want it to be like a Rico driller as a CDM. Like I think it works well in the dynamic that he can drive the ball forward if needed, things like that. He can get on the ball rapid, and he can also fill in at that right back spot. I think it works with the inverted system because Rodri is there to mop up as well. I wouldn't put all that as a lone CDM.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah, fully agree with that. Right, there you go then. There's your update on the midfielders. Obviously, there is Mount news as well coming out. I guess I can quickly just run through the Mount news because
I've not seen anything about Mount for a while now. I feel like it's been like a week or so, hasn't it, since we've seen some
nothing's for a few days on this one, but it is
another one that's popping.
It is a thing, and it's an interesting thing because you don't know if he's using other clubs to try and get a move to Manchester City. But yeah, this is the latest on Mason Mount. James Ollie, who is ESPN, said Manchester City are monitoring Mason Mount's contract situation at Chelsea as talks stall over a new deal. That was on February the 16th. He also says that Liverpool and Manchester United are also monitoring the situation. Mount is currently seeking a significant increase on his £80,000 a week wage that he currently has at Chelsea, rumoured to be anywhere from £200,000 to £300,000 is what he wants. And then Matt Law on the 28th said Man City, along with Manchester United and Liverpool, are thought to be showing an interest in Chelsea's Mason Mount. Also, again, James Ducker at The Telegraph also agreed with that and supported that belief. So, yeah, that's the fourth.
Again, could be just pushing for the new deal to get done.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
Could just be.
But I do think teams will be looking at Mason Mount going, he'd be a great option for all. I think he'd be a great option for all of those teams. City, Liverpool, United. I think it'd be a brilliant option.
I mean, he'd be a backup option for us.
It don't matter. It'd be a great option, though. It'd be a great option. Because you could get him out of that club, probably 40, 50 million. He's still 24. He's got loads of development left. It'd be a great option.
Yeah, it's mad how much how he wants over 300. Remember, he is getting roasted. He is getting roasted on his wages. Remember, we had a look at this. He's getting absolutely shafted at Chelsea, and he one of the lowest paid players. We had a look. There were so many players paid more than him. But he wants over 300 grand a week, doesn't he?
That's rumours anywhere from 200 to 300 grand a week. But he's not going to get that.
He ain't going to be getting 300 grand a week.
No, he's not going to get that at all.
So, but I do think this whole Mount thing is just to drive a bit more contracts. Get a bit of basically make Chelsea sweat a little bit on giving him.
We've seen this so many times with players who are in negotiations.
Oh yeah, just throw City's name in there, adds a bit more cash.
And then they always sign a new deal. And it's like, thanks for using our name. But he's using everyone's name. But I guess, that's two separate journalists that have said this now. And he will be on the list. Again, he's 24 years old, so he's got loads of development. You can get him out of the club probably for 50 million. He's got a year left on his contract. Just, would he accept being a rotational player, which I think he probably would do, and what wage would he want?
We're going for a lot of English Donnies, aren't we?
Well, I just think that maybe the Premier League experience, maybe teams are thinking Premier League experience is key here. And I've said this a lot. I think there's a full talent drain. I think we've got a talent drain in football. And I think that's another reason why football transfer fees have gone through the roof. I think there's a massive talent drain. I really do. I think that you look at players and there's such a massive drop-off. You have some elite level players and then there's a huge drop-off. There's a huge drop-off in quality. And I think that you can say that for a lot of positions on the football pitch. You look at the strikers at the moment. Who are the up-and-coming strikers coming? Look at Isaac, 60 million Newcastle paid for Isaac. You know what I'm saying?
He's meant to be sick though.
Yeah, but he's a 23-year-old who's not even proved it in a top league, scoring goals in the Champions League on a reg. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. There's a talent drain out here. When Newcastle are spending £60 million on Isaac, that's because of the talent drain. they've had to gamble on a young prospect who's hopefully for them will come good. Because there's no one else out there. You look around, you go back 10 years, right? Look at all the strikers that were in the game 10 years ago. You've got Lewandowski, Benzema, who's close to retiring. Yeah. Then you've got who then you've got? You got Haaland, you got Kane, who's getting on. There don't seem to be many strikers now in that sort of 20 to 24 bracket who you can clearly see and go, he's gonna be a superstar. He's gonna be a superstar. You don't see them no more. Talent dream.
How do you fix it?
Well, how do you fix a talent drain? I don't know, because the talent drain is I don't know what's wrong. That's obviously clearly a
I know how you fix it, bro.
Go on.
You start giving contracts to people like me and you, bro. give us a chance and let us change the world, innit? That's what people need to do.
I think one of the things that needs to happen is you need to get academy players into first team football quicker. But obviously, how do you do that? Because the best ones will be in the City academies. So City are not.
The thing is, we're like we're a bad player in this game, because when you look at players like Carlos Borges, someone like that who clearly is ready for a step up. Liam Delap was clearly ready for a step up for the past couple of years, but we kind of hold on to these players, kind of thing, where they need to be moving up. Do you know what I mean? Faster. Moving up faster, then you get them playing more football faster, playing more competitive football faster. Then that's where you start seeing these talents coming through.
Yeah,
but we kind of hold on to these players because we don't want to lose them, and we want them to get a chance at City, but it doesn't always work out like that, as we've seen.
Yeah, no, and then the likes of Borussia Dortmund go and get the players, knowing that they probably will not win the league, so they can just deal with it and then play the players. First team football. You got Bino Gittins now as well. He's smashing it at Dortmund. He's going to be another highly rated player. He was at City. Sancho has been at City. Don't know. It's a difficult one. It deserves a stream for itself. It's a very interesting topic, but that's where we're at. Big up Doper as well with the 2. Said full send Cancelo swap for Sane in my vein. Yeah, I've seen that before. Bro.
Yeah, I've seen Lengen Sweet say something like Bayern are willing to sell Sane.
Yeah, I think we need to do a stream on this later. Bro.
Is this like a legit thing?
Yeah, legit. So we'll do
and
a stream on this
Leao
later.
stuff cooling down as well. Leao, obviously, I know it's meant to be fake, innit? But still, Leao cooling down. Yeah. Them willing to sell Sane. Oh, I can smell a remontada, bro.
Yeah, we'll do a stream on this later on, man, and we can go through all the sources on that as well to see what's going on, see if there's any realistic options, and then maybe look at alternative wingers to see who else could we get if Leao is off. So yeah, that's where we're at. Buzzing. Anything else? Any other players, bro, that you want to go through, or we covered them all?
I think we covered them all. I can't think of any. Oh, someone said before Alexis McAllister, but it's the cash involved in that would be incredible.
Yeah, I'm not even going to speak about it because that's just not going to happen.
It's unfortunate that it can't happen because I actually really like him. I think he's mint. But yeah, I just think Florian Wirtz, or Wirtz, however you say his name, he's meant to be sick. Him.
Yeah.
He's meant to be sick. I don't know where he is. But he is meant to be sick.
Yeah. Amar says Sane is washed. Let's move on.
Oh, you know what?
Bro?
For a few years, when he went to Bayern, I thought he was washed. I thought Rise made a really bad move here. Not washed. Washed is the wrong word. But I thought, he's made a bad move and he's not performing. But apparently this season he's absolutely cooking. He's meant to be cooking different this year.
He is meant to be cooking different this year. Yeah, factual. But yeah, I might come back in the stream later on, bro, with that energy, and make sure you bring a helmet and that, because people are going to come for you, bro.
Yeah, people will be firing shots, man.
There we go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of a transfer update. I tell you now, make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell because it's coming. We're going to get an onslaught of rumours just coming at us every week, and it's going to be crazy. You know how it goes. Those people that was with the channel last year and the year before, this is the period of the season, of the year, that transfer news just goes absolutely wild in it. So, boom, there we are. Make sure you drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you later on for that Saturday stream. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.